Hello, LTV viewers and friends, and welcome to the May 23rd, 2025 edition of East End News on LTV. This is your community and your news. I'm Christine Sampson. This week's top story is for anyone in East Hampton Town who needs building permits or other types of business documentation. There's a new online system in place. Let's take a look.
Walking into the town of East Hampton's office building to apply for permits or any other business items is a thing of the past. They have implemented a new online portal system to take care of all its residents' needs.
So, part of the drive of this new administration has been about government operational efficiency. How do we make things faster, more transparent, and more cost-effective for the residents of the town?
Flight wants residents to know that they can log into the portal at any time to see exactly where their application is in the system, and they will get email updates as well. And any fees that are due can also be paid online.
So, historically, for obvious reasons, we have office hours as to when, our front desks can be open. Those don't always align with people. If you have a building project going on, but you work a 9-to-5 job elsewhere, taking that time out of your day to come in and drop the paperwork off, especially if there's a line, can be a challenge.
Flight says they realize this process may be a difficult transition for some residents, and they plan to have people available either in person, by email, or over the phone to assist with any problems that may occur.
Look, there's so much you can do on a computer now, and where we can save people time, staying out of the traffic, staying off the road, and say, hey, you can do this from the comfort of your own home. That's a win for me. So it's just, it's making people's lives better.
Residents can still come in person to get help uploading the documents, and you can also have YouTube video instructions emailed to you for help in learning about how to use the new portal system.
I think the biggest change is if you need to do something now, you can do it from anywhere.
Dara Berger reporting in East Hampton for LTV East End News.
In other tech news, East Hampton Town is also cautioning its residents about phishing scams. It has received reports of emails from scammers who are attempting to mimic planning department communications. The town said that these emails are not legitimate and strongly urges people who have received suspicious emails to not click on any of the links inside and don't download any attachments. When in doubt, the town says, contact the planning department directly. That phone number is 631-324-2178. Tuesday was a big day this week for public schools across New York State. On the South Fork, voters reacted favorably to the budget plans, which all stayed within the state's tax cap rules. One of the only failed propositions on all of Long Island was the Montauk School's bond referendum for a major campus renovation. The bond failed by 43 votes, with 318 people voting yes and 361 voting no. A related capital reserve proposition was also rejected. The bond would have allowed the school to borrow more than $38.4 million over 20 years and would have added an additional tax of about $37 per month for the average Montauk homeowner. But with the rejection of the proposal, the school now goes back to the drawing board. Montauk's superintendent, Josh Odom, told East End News that while this was a disappointing outcome for the school, quote, we respect the decision of the voters and remain deeply committed to the needs of our students, staff, and school community. The Montauk Board of Education will hold a workshop on Tuesday, May 27th at 4 p.m. to determine what its next steps will be. New stop signs, a lower speed limit, and stepped-up police enforcement. These could all be in the future for drivers on Noyak Road, a main thoroughfare through Southampton Town that's used all day, every day by locals, commuters, and visitors alike. Southampton Town Councilman Michael Iacilli has introduced a bill to curb speeding by making the speed limit a consistent 30 miles per hour on all of Noyak Road. This will be the subject of a public hearing on June 10th at 1 p.m. at Southampton Town Hall for all those interested in weighing in. You may have noticed the new stop sign at the westbound approach to the Noyak and Long Beach Road intersection. That's another test underway in Southampton Town. The town also says the police department is stepping up its enforcement of all traffic laws along Noyak Road. Charlie McArdle, the highway superintendent, said in a statement that, with the new stop signs and traffic calming efforts through speed monitoring on Noyak, we have placed public safety as a top priority. Our number one goal is to enhance the quality of life for the community. You see it often across the South Fork landscapes. Stands of stark black barren tree trunks, dead pine trees sticking straight up or leaning precariously, piles and piles of dead trees rotting on the ground, causing potential hazards for first responders, homeowners, and hikers. This is the chaos and devastation caused by the southern pine beetle, and LTV is doing something about it. It's called the Pine Protection Project, and it's a multi-part effort to educate people and encourage smart action around the issue. First, viewers can take our Pine Beetle Impact Survey to help us measure the magnitude of the problem. We'll put up a QR code for this survey, which can easily be done on a smartphone or tablet. The next phase is a scientific presentation and panel discussion on June 11th. The first 150 people to sign up will get a free native pine seedling to take home and plant. There's much more to it. You can read all about it at ltveh.org/Pine Protection Project. Another local nonprofit is also gearing up for a big event. The 4th Annual Pride Parade is set for Saturday, June 7th, bringing the uplifting and inclusive messages of Hampton's pride to the LGBTQ+ community and its allies here. Leading the parade this year is John Cameron Mitchell, who starred in the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and who will sing favorite songs from the show at Herrick Park after the parade. The film version of Hedwig will be screened at the Sag Harbor Cinema on Saturday, May 31st, in a special partnership between the two organizations. John Cameron Mitchell will appear virtually for a post-screening talk. Tom House, founder of Hampton's Pride, told us that the film will, quote, answer all our burning questions about the origin of love and what it's like to become an internationally ignored punk rock star in the 1980s after a sex change operation goes horribly wrong. All of the information can be found online at hamptonspride.org. The Pride Parade was certainly a groundbreaking addition to our community, and so is Fuento Vejuna, the first ever play produced fully in Spanish at Guildhall. Correspondent Dara Berger went behind the scenes with the actors to learn why this show was so important.
These actors are rehearsing for a production of Fuente Vejuna, but it's not just the name of the play that's in Spanish, but the entire show.
And the significance of this play is that we have updated the Spanish language, but we've kept the play in Spanish. But it is a modern Spanish and not a 17th century Spanish, so it's not like the equivalent of a Shakespearean English.
Perez says it's a classic play written in the 17th century, and the actors have been rehearsing at Guildhall since October.
And to have a community theater piece that really reflects the community that lives here in East Hampton year-round is core to our mission to serve all of the peoples, all of the communities of the East End of Long Island.
I think everybody at some point in life wants to be part of something good, something great. So for me, being part of something that is going to change community forever, especially Latin American community, at the Hamptons, which is a big stage, is very important.
Well, it's the language that I was, I grew up learning because it was always spoke at home. I've never done a play in Spanish, so for it to be in complete Spanish, I think is, a step beyond what it does for our community.
The storyline is one that really highlights the significance and importance of a community staying together against all odds.
The message of resiliency and still like being together, I think that's the most powerful one.
The co-directors say they are committed to more works in Spanish, whether it be a full production, stage readings, or poetry.
I hope people feel that we are a community, that all of us are together, and together we are better.
Dara Berger reporting in East Hampton for LTV East End News.
Current events also inspired this week's Inside the Archives segment. Let's take a look.
Inside the Archive is our weekly look back in time, thanks to the East Hampton Library's digital Long Island collection. May is an important month for school districts across the state, as school budget voting season commences and allows for districts to plan upcoming projects and get community feedback for the next school year. We take a look back at a former brainstorming meeting held at Spring School in 2011. Parents and faculty gathered in the school's common area to discuss different ways in which the district could be improved.
Top of our list for most board members is implementation of a foreign language program that goes down into the primary grades. Greater integration of the Latino community into the school community. Enriching programs to the arts. Enhancing technology. And providing some sort of basic minimum technology curriculum so that each student graduating 8th grade would be certified in some basic computer skills by the time they head off to high school.
The meeting was then split into groups, allowing parents and teachers to focus on specific areas of improvement and to give them a chance to brainstorm more ideas that they believed were best fit for the students and the school.
Again, we ask you to think outside the box, to look at what might be, not what is, to dream what might seem impossible, but to get it down, so that we have some sort of a tool. The district has a tool for plotting its future.
Spring School has undergone the biggest transformation within the last few years, with renovations that expanded the school's space, as well as advances in the school's programs and curriculums. For East End News, I'm Lisbeth Leone.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of East End News on LTV, delivering the news you need through the power of public access television. I'm Christine Sampson, and we'll see you next week.